it was 27th September, midnight, around between 1 to 2 o'clock. We sleep late over there. I have just, I even didn't sleep. My kids were sleeping, but I wasn't sleeping yet. So some people started to knock the door, but you know, this is not a knock, this is a knock. So they were about something like they will break the doors. And then they didn't have any official uniforms. They were plain clothes, you know, the daily dressing of the Pakistan, regular men, whatever they were wearing them, shalwar and kameez. And there were many vehicles which the government uses. I mean, it is the government vehicles. It's obvious because those vehicles were used by the government. The people who were knocking the door claimed to be police, but we asked them, and they told us they came to pick us. And we asked for their ID cards because they were not dressing like a police. And then they didn't have any ID card. When we asked them to show us their ID cards, they didn't have their ID cards. And we said that, okay, if you don't have any ID card, show us any warrant to take us. And they didn't have any warrant also to take us with them. And later on, while we were trying to explain, discuss, we were trying to access a lawyer, you know, trying to find a solution. They immediately, at that moment, they attacked my children. They started to pull them, and then when they were resisting, they were beating them. And then I have seen my kids they were dragging them on the stairs. So I just remember the face of my child, and I afraid that her head will crash to the stairs. It was because they were merciless in their behaviors. And then when, you know, children were taken, but it's so, you are in the middle, you don't know if you have to go with them or if you have to resist. So it was a kind of resistance to them, but we have to go with them. It's a really weird moment that time. And even then, while they were also dragging us, they were beating us. And then with the force, they put my kids into in a vehicle. But as I told that, because they were dragging them on the ground, they were all dust, and then they started to bleed, and then they put them into the cars. They put me in another car. I was alone with 3 men. And in the car, they were speaking in the local language. I didn't understand what they were saying. Later on, one of them took my scarf out, pulled it out, and when I started to scream with the fear, he put my scarf on my head, and he did something, and it was suffocating me. He was suffocating me. And I started to scream, cry, and you know, you are trying to get this thing off, and he started to slap me. And later on, I asked them if they are taking me to my children. And then they said that, yes, they will take me to my kids. And when they told me that I will take me to my kids, I had to stay silent and just crying. I wanted to open the door, throw myself away to be able to save myself, but my children were going with them. So I had to be in that car, and I had to suffer whatever they did to me to go to a destination. It took maximum half an hour, 20 minutes to max 1 hour, half an hour. And where we reached, I have seen they handcuffed my daughters, and they put black sacks into their heads, and it was totally dark, and there was just the headlights of the cars towards the kids, and they were walking in front of a wall to a building. And that moment was, you can't imagine how hard is this, because you see that your kids, what parents live for, to protect their children. This is what they exist for. And that moment, you feel that I felt that I couldn't protect my children. I couldn't protect my children.